This man is basically the father of hockey and the captain of the NHL. While he's shown no signs of aging, Sidney Crosby is still 36 years old. And as I've learned watching his entire career unfold, time moves all too fast, and I wonder, is the NHL ready for life without him? When I began writing this story about Sid the Kid, I was just trying to imagine what the NHL will be like without him. I thought of other sports where all-time greats retired. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, the list goes on. Of course, they all left a lasting legacy, but my message in short was going to be a message I would soon realize was completely wrong. I was going to say something so cliche like, as a legacy is cemented, another star is born, whatever. But then I typed Sidney Crosby into Google, Reddit, every search function I could find, and the deeper I went into his history, the more I realized just how many personal stories about this man I completely forgot. It's easy to take for granted, because through time, they're drip-fed to us. So for this video, you'll get the full effect of hearing them all at once, some of these stories dating back more than 10 years. Of course, as we speak, he's chasing one of the best age 36 seasons ever, but this isn't about that. You already know he's one of the greatest to ever play the game. Rather, this video is about the evolution of Sid the Kid to Sid the Man, and ultimately, what the game will lose when he retires. Starting with the 2024 NHL All-Star Weekend, there sat a lonely, injured Connor Bedard, the Chicago Blackhawks center, and to many, the next big thing in hockey. Bedard, only 18 years old, grew up idolizing Crosby, and there he was, taking the time to make sure he was doing all right. But often, a moment in time calls for much more. In May of 2014, a tragic turn of events, Martin St. Louis' mother, dying suddenly at the age of 63. St. Louis, then a member of the Rangers, seen here warming up on his exercise bike. Then there was Crosby, in a touching moment, his empathy always shining through. And we'll never forget about the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, April 2018, the coach bus carrying a junior team, colliding with a semi-trailer, claiming the lives of 16 people. Crosby signing personal messages to each survivor. Then 2016, this amazing anecdote shared by Gord Miller of TSN.
They won the cup in 16, so he's got the Stanley Cup. We went to a children's hospital. We were done there, and Sid said, well, where else could we go? I said, well, there's a veterans hospital I went to once around the corner. So we called over, went over there, and they've got everyone's kind of in the main meeting room, and someone said, oh, too bad Joe's not here. Joe would have loved this. He said he's a Korean War veteran, but he's blind and bedridden. He's upstairs. So Sid said, let's go. Joe, Sidney Crosby's here with the Stanley Cup. And Joe says, oh, I'm sorry, Sid, I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. And Sid says, no problem, who's your favorite Montreal Canadian? He says, Rocket Richard. So Sid brings the cup over and traces his finger over the Rocket's, wow, name engraved. Wow.
Wow was my response as well. Crosby has a knack for turning small moments into lifetime memories, even 1,000 miles away from the rink. This was posted in early 2023. A family of Penguins season ticket holders on vacation in the Bahamas, floored to see Crosby having lunch with his girlfriend. The family tried to leave him alone, but a 10-year-old girl in the group couldn't help but say hi. The moment culminating in a family photo, with Crosby stopping the chat, picking up the tab for lunch, and leaving a signed note for the young girl. This is why, even when he's getting ribbed by opposing fans, it's polite. And opposing players love him too, especially the ones from his native Nova Scotia. Here was Nathan MacKinnon, after winning the Stanley Cup in 22.
Well, yesterday, my room number was 1787, so we just felt like it was fate.
Crosby was actually there to celebrate MacKinnon's victory with the Avalanche, supportive of other players, and of course, his own teammates. An emotional Evgeny Malkin in 2022 felt unwanted by the Penguins in the midst of brutal contract negotiations. Crosby, as always, was by his side. He doesn't just see faces, he sees people. 7 years ago, recognizing a former Penguins intern, now a Secret Service agent, and stopping to shake his hand. Pundits are often critical of how the league is run, but the NHL's saving grace has always been its league ambassadors. So what will the NHL be like without this one? For now, considering he's shown no signs of actual aging, we may not have to worry about that for some time. But when he does, something tells me that inconspicuous moment with Bedard meant more than it appeared. Crosby and Bedard had spoken before, of course, but often it was staged or just before a game. This one moment was sought out by the hero of a starry-eyed kid, and you know, Bedard had to have felt that. This is exactly why the league's best players, generation to generation, from Howe to Gretzky to Crosby and so on, inevitably end up being genuinely good people. And to think a decade ago, airline pilots were calling him Crybaby Crosby, a moniker you rarely hear today. And if anyone will be crying, it'll be everyone but him when he hangs up the skates for the last time. Hopefully, a day that remains far away. For Goal Zone Hockey, this is Charlie. I'll catch you next time.